Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Kathy Hilton is being a protective big sister after Kyle Richards saw photos of Mauricio Umansky kissing another woman in Greece. In season 14, episode 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kathy expressed some doubt that Mauricio was somehow accidentally caught by Paps in the embrace of another woman while vacationing abroad. She pointed out that the Mykonos airport Mauricio was photographed at isn't exactly a spot frequented by celebrities, leading her to question if someone, possibly the woman in the photos, tipped off the paparazzi. Not to be rude, but it's not like this is Brad Pitt, Kathy told her sister. Kathy separately told producers in a confessional that she still remembers all of the rumors about Mauricio's behavior throughout his marriage to Kyle. It's embarrassing, it's humiliating. But really, we've never seen a picture. Nobody's ever come out, she said of her reasoning. Kathy isn't alone in her belief that the photos were staged, with Erica Jane also suggesting that this is what went down. She even cautioned Kyle, "You can't be naive." And Sutton Strack thinks so too, noting that she's been at the exact same airport when Jennifer Aniston was there and she never saw photographers. It wasn't an accidental paparazzi shot, it was a planned photo, Sutton stated. Back in July 2024, the agency founder was spotted kissing a younger woman wearing a bikini and cover-up at a Mykonos airport. The photos of their embrace were published online, which meant Kyle and their daughters saw the kiss with their own eyes. Though Kyle and Mauricio are no longer together, Kyle told his sister that it's a little jarring to see her husband with another woman. More than that, it was very strange to see it online at the same time as everyone else. "I don't want him to feel guilty because he's allowed to do what he wants," Kyle tells Kathy. "But it's also like, why are you being irresponsible? I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings. I'm just processing it all." Kyle also spoke about her reaction to the photos on the February 25 episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show, saying, "We're not together, but this is a lot of years that we spent together, so obviously seeing these photos is strange for me. I feel like I'm looking at someone else, someone that I don't know." While Kathy and Mauricio have butted heads in the past, Kathy knows that he and her sister had a loving relationship. So when Kathy was questioned about Kyle and Mauricio's future on the December 3 episode of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, she responded, "I always say there's always a chance." Kathy even said that she still likes her brother-in-law, noting that they shared some laughs the last time they caught up in Aspen, Colorado. "I say how I feel, I like Mao. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't. He can be charming and fun," she shared. It started with a whisper, then it became a Bravo-sized hurricane. Rumors have always swirled around Beverly Hills like champagne bubbles rising in a crystal flute, but this time the whispers were personal. They were about Mauricio Umansky, a man Kathy Hilton has known for decades, back when her sister Kyle Richards was just the cute one from Halloween, and long before the glittering chaos of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills took over their lives. Now, in an unfiltered and emotional conversation with a Bravo producer, Kathy Hilton is ready to break her silence. The confessional room is lit to perfection, casting a soft glow on Kathy's signature blonde hair. She's wearing a pale pink blazer, classic Hilton, but there's tension in her smile. The producer, whose voice is just off camera, asks the question that sets everything into motion. "Kathy, you've seen the headlines about Mauricio lately. How do you feel about the rumors?" Kathy exhales sharply, folding her hands in her lap. There's a long pause, too long for a woman who normally relishes gossip like it's an extra dollop of caviar on a blini. But this time, the gossip hits too close to home. "Look," Kathy finally says, her voice softer than usual. "This is humiliating. For everyone. For Kyle, for Mauricio, for the girls. And yes, even for me. People forget that Mauricio isn't just some guy to me," Kathy continues. "I knew him before he had a real estate empire, before the reality TV cameras and all the fancy listings. He was just this sweet, scrappy kid who fell in love with my sister." Her smile falters. "And now the whole world is talking about him like he's some playboy sneaking around in hotel rooms with 25-year-olds. It's humiliating." Of course, the conversation can't avoid the elephant in the room. Kathy and Kyle's strained relationship. The sisters have weathered countless storms, from childhood insecurities to American Woman to Kathy's now infamous meltdown in Aspen. And yet, here they are again, fighting through a brand new scandal. Kathy leans in, her voice low. Kyle and we're not always on the same page, but we're still sisters. And watching her go through this, seeing her humiliated in public, it breaks my heart. No matter how mad I've been at her, I don't want this for her. Kathy doesn't answer right away. Instead, she tilts her head the way she does when she's deciding whether to tell the truth or spin a story that's more camera-friendly. After a beat, she sighs. I don't know what to believe anymore, she admits. I used to think Mauricio was one of the good ones, but this town, it changes people. Beverly Hills has a way of transforming husbands. One day, they're doting partners cheering on their wives from the sidelines. The next, they're the subject of scandal, photographed in dimly lit clubs with models half their age. It's practically a rite of passage. I've seen it happen too many times, Kathy says. It's like the second you put a man in front of these cameras and give him a taste of fame, they lose their minds. She gestures vaguely, referencing everyone from P.K. Kensley to Harry Hamlin, all the husbands who have, at some point, been accused of wandering eyes or questionable behavior. This show can be a blessing, but can also be a curse. What makes this situation even trickier for Kathy is her dual loyalty to Kyle, her sister, and to her own reputation. Being associated with scandal is bad for the Hilton brand, and Kathy has worked too hard to resurrect her image after her rocky first season. I want to stand by Kyle, Kathy says, her voice trembling just slightly. But I also have to protect myself. People are asking if I knew, if I covered for him. And that's not fair. She leans back, visibly frustrated. I can't control what Mauricio does, but I can control how I respond to it. Despite her frustration, Kathy is nothing if not a master of the pivot. Before the segment ends, she slips into her signature dry humor, raising her glass in a mock toast. To the husbands of Beverly Hills, she jokes, eyes twinkling. May they keep their pants zipped and their scandals off page 6. It's a classic Hilton move, deflect with humor, then retreat behind a fortress of wealth and privilege. But this time, the cracks are showing. Behind the jokes and the designer wardrobe, Kathy is genuinely shaken. Because if Mauricio can fall, who's next? Rick? Ken? Harry? As the interview wraps, Kathy's tone softens again. At the end of the day, Kyle is my sister. And I want her to be happy, whether that's with Mauricio or not. She pauses. But I also want her to know her worth. She doesn't need to stay in a situation that humiliates her. The producer asks one final question. Do you think Kyle and Mauricio will make it? Kathy considers it, her expression unreadable. I hope so, she says at last. But in this town, you never know. The screen fades to footage of Kyle and Mauricio in happier times, dancing at parties, hosting lavish dinners, posing for Christmas cards with their daughters. Then, the images shift to tabloid covers, ominous headlines, and paparazzi shots of Mauricio looking just a little too friendly with a mystery woman. In Beverly Hills, the only thing more valuable than your money is your image. And for the Richards Hilton family, that image has just taken another very public hit.